I was gonna say, imagine that he's like, yeah, look at this.
Just hearing that word, you know what I mean? Put a zing in my head. Whoa,
Yes.
whoa,
Wow.
whoa!
Yes.
We gotta stop this. We're done.
Yes.
Wow.
Comment, delete.
I'm just kidding.
Delete.
That's where it all
Get it out of
stops.
here.
That's where it stops.
No. He's canceled now.
Welcome to the most unhinged podcast in the world. This is We're Not Dead. This podcast is a podcast of We're Alive Descendants, and we're only doing We're Alive Descendants as of right now. If you haven't listened to the new episode, which is Dining with the Devil Chapter 2, sorry, Episode 2,
Part 2.
Part 2. Maybe you should listen to that first and then come back here, because I can guarantee you we will spoil every
Just maybe.
every
Maybe.
single one of them.
It could help.
It will ruin your day.
They're
So
just so good.
they're just so good. So then come back here, because you know you're gonna have fun with us. Anyway, my name is AJ.
Wakka.
Jay,
Ace.
welcome.
Welcome.
Oh my gosh, I thought we
We're
had
so
it.
close. I know, right?
We got
It's hard. There's the delay. The delay.
we
For
got
me, it sounds just perfect.
You should just say your name and then instantly go.
And then we'll
I
follow.
should just
What
say
is it?
and. I should say and. So that way, by the time you guys hear and say it, it should be perfect.
no, come up with something that you're gonna say. Like we say welcome, and you're like and thank you, or something like that. Welcome and thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got Wakka back. Wakka's here with the new hair.
It's good to be
hairdo.
back. It's good to be back.
Welcome. With a
Yeah.
new hairdo.
The
Yeah,
chair has
exactly.
been
Yeah,
filled
a
once
little bit.
again.
He got Californian.
Yeah, Californicated.
That's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing. No, being a California boy is not a good thing.
Especially what's happening right now in LA.
California.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
When you say that,
relevant.
like
yeah.
the Californian boy, all I can think of is Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, he's a California boy. And then all the girls are like, oh, yeah? And they're like, no, you don't understand. He's a Californian boy.
That was the new quarterback, right? The long hair dude.
Was he the quarterback?
Yeah, he was the
Yeah.
quarterback. Yeah. It was funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dining with the Devil, part 2. What do you guys think?
It was good.
It was really nice.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. This is everything I wanted from this
This,
episode.
dude, I was
Literally everything that I wanted from this episode.
Yeah, I was listening to this, and then when we got to Vera, all I can think of is Ace again, because it's about the family, and we're getting deep, a little, not too deep, but a little deep into the family. They're dropping
We're
names.
getting in there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
when
they're
they
dropping
were
names. and
when they
things
were
like
dropping
that.
names, I was listening so hard, and I'm like,
Oh.
are they going to say someone you know? Is
I
this
know,
someone you know?
I
Is that
know.
someone you know?
Exactly,
And I'm
exactly.
like trying to think back, and I'm
Yeah.
like, then never.
It never
dude.
happened.
Talking about
I'm-
the island he was on, talking about like everything he was talking
Yes.
about. I was like, oh, is it? Oh, wait, but what if? Oh.
I know. I was waiting for the crossover because, like, that island and that whole crashing, the fact that they put a lot of time into that story, and I don't want to believe it's just to explain his disappearance.
What if
Like-
we found out that it was fake?
Oh,
that's
I don't
wild.
think so.
No.
But what if?
Yeah,
That's wild. To twist up that story like that.
that, and then also when he was talking about making a raft, all I instantly thought of was Jack
Simon.
Sparrow.
Oh,
And I was like, yeah, and he strapped it together with the hair from his back, and
all I can think of
Sea
is
turtles.
all I can think of is
turtles.
the family version of Scout's Honor. That's all I can think of. That whole scene.
Family version of Scout.
It's in the island, right? They were in the island and he escaped through a boat.
I was seriously hoping that he was gonna like say that when he crashed on the island, he encountered like Zach's parents or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, and see, I was waiting for him to just like basically announce when he first started running into the infected too.
Yeah.
Because all he was talking about was the trouble over there, and I'm like, dude, but what happened next? Because if he went missing in 2009,
Yeah.
Yes.
or no, was it 2009?
No.
And then no, 2008.
2008. 2009
Yeah. So
is
it was
when
when
Oliver...
everything happened.
Yep.
That's
It's
right.
when he went missing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so it's like, okay, so then that means that did he first encounter everything after the crash? And I wanted to hear the first, like, just even the hint of that stuff.
I
Because
thought he
that
did,
would
though.
be cool to me.
No, not after the crash. Because when he went to Puerto Rico, he was alone in the island. When he escaped in the raft and get to the main island, that's when he encountered the
That's
Inquisitor.
when I wanted. What I wanted to hear about is when he got to civilization per se for the first time again.
Right. But yeah, it is definitely interesting, and all I can think of is Casey didn't have to give us that information, but he did. He gave us, why he was gone and things like whether it's true or not. We still got.
I feel like we
that
did have to
information.
get a reason, though. We had to get a reason.
Right. Well, I feel like
The depth of it is nice, but
it's more of a like, oh, he because when I heard that he was gone, it like, at least for me, I brush it off because it's like, oh, he was on a mission. As a family, he was on a mission. He's gone. He got stuck somewhere, and then that's it. That's all. Like that's how I took it. But now we had like a better explanation, so it makes more sense. Yeah,
it did have to be addressed though, because that's a major thing.
Right.
Like he went missing, and because of how he went missing, like he's no longer the head of the family. Like.
Right.
If he didn't go missing, he would right now be the head of the family.
Right.
Well, we're getting pretty deep.
No
in
ifs,
this,
ands, or buts.
Because I had other thoughts added to that, but
Okay,
we can start at the beginning. And that's pretty soon into the story.
Right,
anyway,
right.
so.
First of all, before anything else, this podcast is not sponsored by Gatorade. I'm sorry, Mountain Dew. I said Gatorade. This podcast is not sponsored by Mountain Dew. We're gonna blur that out. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna blur it out.
As opposed to the Ghost in C4 that we normally have.
All right, Dining with the Devil. We continued we continued the story with the conversation between Will, Nick, and the Chancellor.
You?
That's right.
Chancellor Friedrich.
Oh, wait, so you're the president of the Republic?
Well, no. That's General Kramer. Not to give you a civics lesson of the Republic, but I run one of the branches.
Well, then, what are you doing here on this train? Why don't you just fly around wherever you wanted? You seem important enough.
Perceptive. And yes, I could, but I had business that was best attended on the ground. Besides, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of planes. Hard to trust a piece of antiquated tech made over a decade ago not to simply fall out of the sky, like many of them do.
Wait, really? That happens?
To my predecessor, in fact. It's how I moved up into this job.
Yikes.
We find out that he's not the president. That's key. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that info.
When they kept saying Chancellor, I assumed that it was
right.
the lead person, but it's not.
It's not.
So.
But he made it sound like it was because he said he was the head of the government.
Yeah, so he basically pulls all the strings.
Right.
So
and also one of the reasons why we think that he's the president, because Walrus in the board was talking to the Chancellor, and we think like, oh, that's gotta be the biggest person, in the Republic.
Yeah.
But it's not. Okay, we also find out that the president is General Kramer. That's his name, General Kramer. Yep, no first name, just General Kramer. Maybe his first name is General.
The parents got some sick joke.
And he said Chancellor runs one of the branches. That's it. Not a city, not a mayor or a governor. He runs one of the branches. And then he said that he doesn't fly for multiple reasons, which are valid if you ask me. Because they no longer, I said in here, they no longer manufacture planes. So I assume parts are not being updated and are probably being maintained with limited resources due to the lack of parts. And also, we also find out that his predecessor died due to the planes falling from the sky.
Anyone think suspect there?
I said it right here.
100%.
Coincidence? Probably not.
Probably not. I definitely think that he was on top of that.
Him not wanting to fly seems like a whole different thing. Like he might have a genuine fear of flying and stuff like that. If so, cool, interesting plot point. But it seems way more in depth than just like, I don't like flying. Like, no. You're not getting away with just that.
Yeah, I think with the fact that his predecessor passed by that, I think he sabotaged the plane, and he knows how easy it is to then sabotage a plane and somebody else take over.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
So, just like the previous episode that we did, where certain things are happening similarly between two stories, this one is also similar. This is the similarities from this one to the other story with the plane. Because you have this one talking about I don't want to ride the plane, and then the Angel Senior crashed because of the plane. You know what I mean? There's like two similarities between the two stories.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's intentional, but that's how I look at
what
it.
it is.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this part. Who else got nervous with this after when he started talking to them? I said right here. This is what I said. Spilling information is the main theme of this episode. We see this from Nick and Will in this story, and also later on with Vera. It's just we're just gonna give you all of the information.
I thought when they were talking, I thought Will was gonna I thought he was gonna get handed. Like he told so many things.
Both of them.
That they shouldn't have known.
It's
Yeah.
not just Will, even Nick.
I will say Nick did very well though.
Yeah.
Because once Will started dropping a lot of information, Nick dropped enough outside of when he kind of had his little crash out.
Yeah.
He dropped just enough information to level with Will's story.
Right.
But then when he started crashing out past that, it's like, okay, all of this only looks bad right now. It needs to stop.
Right.
But the way that he started saying it and the way that he almost like justified the way he was saying it, it was like, this could be an average person's concern.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't seem like, oh, this is somebody from Westport. We have a problem. No, it's no, this is somebody who's not from the city that started hearing rumors somehow, and the rumors have been diluted, or they've been misinformed because of Westport's stories and what Westport is saying on that side.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had a couple thoughts on that, and one of them was like Will, with the detail he said with everything he worked on, and the Chancellor being who he is, and being in contact with Prim. I feel like in my mind, I would have instantly been like, well, I know of one place that has all of those things that needs to be worked on. So I feel like he gave away too much in that. But then also, as a note for what we had talked about last week with the Chancellor being surprised that, or like that Will and Nick should have known who he was, might not have been true because they're coming from UA, and he's in charge of the Republic. That's like us not knowing who the person in charge of Mexico is. Like, quite frankly, I got no clue.
I have no idea.
Like,
So they got the advantage here.
yeah, well, not necessarily that. Just like they were saying that last week. Someone was saying that it's suspect that they didn't know who he was. And
that was
it's
me,
not
yeah.
as suspect because it's two different countries basically.
Right.
And in that time when we kind of had media, but we don't have media like we do now. Like we don't have the internet in this time.
Right.
You have some type of infrastructure and phones and stuff, but you have the media that's only in your area. Like the UA probably isn't going to put us a lot of stuff on their media about who their chancellor is, because especially since he's not the person in charge.
Yeah.
Correct.
Officially.
And also they don't have money. You know, if you're poor, because most likely a lot of these areas in whether UA, Westport, or Prim or Republic, they're poor. Like they wouldn't have a time to look what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? I gotta focus on how to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. When I was initially thinking this, like when I was thinking that, you know, it was suspect and stuff like that, it came a lot from the side of like, you know, you said you don't know who the president of and who's in charge of Mexico right now, yada yada yada, but like it could be different if you were trying to go there and live there and make a life there. It could be. Because I mean, if I want to go to Rome, I'm gonna see, you know, you have to learn some stuff about how it is. Again, like you said, it's different than in their time versus how we are in our time.
Yeah. Now
But
we
that's
have
kinda
access to that
my mind
information.
starts going. Yeah.
But back then, I mean,
But
think
like-
of back in the Old West, you know, they saw work, in even just another state, they picked up and they went and worked there. They didn't necessarily know who was in charge at the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get there and find out it's not someone good.
Well, I'm kind of, so I agree with you, but I'm at the same time kind of leaning, especially with what Nick told the Chancellor, because his position, his job in UA, it's not just a mechanic, or it's not just what Will said. Him, it's more like you're part of the system. You know what I mean? He's like a security detail.
Yeah.
I feel like he should know at least a little bit of what's going on
Possibly.
in the idea of being a UA, because he's a when he was a Guardian, he knows at least the Republic exists. Probably not the leadership of the Republic, but he would know more information than was given to him.
Outside of all the info that Nick dropped, I would actually think my mind would work the opposite. Is if you're a mercenary, you're a dude working as muscle for hire, you don't need to know things. You need to know what you're told and how to do your job. But on the other side, being a dude that literally all of his stuff is his brain, his smarts, and his hands, like, then I'd be like, okay, this dude might, like, he should probably know a thing or two.
Right.
So my mind actually works the opposite from where you're going with it right now.
Gotcha. Because I like
not saying one or the other is right or wrong.
Because Nick not knowing who the Chancellor, even though he's part of the Guardian in Westport, is different. Because UA and Republic sounds like they have more connection than Westport to.
I will say it's
any
interesting
countries.
that he just in general doesn't know in his training and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't think that they will explain that to him, because I wouldn't think even Vera knows. You know what I mean?
Well, and
Yeah,
the UA
that would-
is on the opposite side of the Republic.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Now I'm talking about like at least knowing who the Republic's leaders are.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming from Westport.
Yeah, like
yeah, 'cause they're
you would
going-
think,
they're-
especially. Well, I guess it also was at the end of his training when like all those tensions were high and stuff like that. So I guess my initial like worries and woes are kind of already negated by that, because if they were going through training 6 months sooner, they might know all these leaders and all these prominent figures, because they're like, we're probably going to war with these guys, like we need to know what's going on. Versus they are literally going through graduation, they're like, yo, something happened with the Republic. Now they need to know. Now they need to be briefed. But they've been separated the whole time. So there has been no briefing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We also find out that Aaron, I'm not even gonna pronounce his last name.
Frederick.
No, it's Friedrich. Yeah, Friedrich or Friedrich. Aaron is also heading to Justice. Now, if we remember, Walrus is meeting the Chancellor. Does this mean Nick, Will, and Walrus are going to have a reunion?
I
We think
can't
so.
wait.
You don't think so?
I said we think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's someone's comment that on our YouTube too.
Okay.
They're gonna meet. Because he said they might not be in the train, but for sure they're gonna meet each other in Justice.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, on that note about being on the train, I don't remember if it was last episode or the one before, we had a conversation about that. And at the beginning, we had talked about a theory about like Riley meeting up with a train, and we were like, well, no, because they're leaving from Prim, which they're already beyond that, and so they're going a different direction. And then we were like, well, maybe Walrus is on the train, and we're like, but he left from Prim also, so
in the plane.
he wouldn't be in the same spot either. So we in the same podcast we contradicted our locational theories, and I realized that when re-listening to it, and I'm like, well, that was stupid of us.
Hey, you gotta talk about everything that's possibility.
It's all a possibility.
Every single thing. It doesn't
if
matter
it's
how
very
ridiculous it is.
I mean, that's the whole reason we
Very
do this.
slim.
Is because we want to
exactly.
start talking
Yeah.
theories, and we want to shoot down theories and like hold on to some theories.
Yeah.
Now, Will saying all of the things that he has done that are advanced and intensive is making me kind of nervous. Like, dude, shut up, okay? Shut up right now. It's like what you told him, your job in UA, doesn't align with what you're saying right now.
Yeah.
It's very, very suspicious. Their answers to the Chancellor, like what Nick's like what Nick's job is, and the response to his question about working with the infected firsthand definitely raised suspicions.
And what about you, Chris?
Me, I ain't really nothing like him. Was security detail on the border, but I got tired of risking my neck on the river.
I don't blame you. Often short-lived line of work. So, you have first-hand experience with infected?
You could definitely say that.
Too much, you could say. Fought off all types.
And yet you remain. Must be good at what you do.
Oh, I am.
Look, I may be overstepping here, but do you really feel like day labor is the best fit for you in the Republic?
Well, I mean, Jess and I were hoping to stick together. This is my best friend. We look after each other. And these jobs were what was available to both of us, so we do what we gotta do.
Yeah, we are best friends.
Well, there's no reason you still couldn't stay together, only perhaps in better positions. I have a good feeling about you two.
Being a chancellor, I feel like this dude, right? If he did what he did to the his previous chancellor, he will be more sensitive of what's happening. If there's a spy, if someone trying to kill him or anything like that, I would think that he would be like that. So every information that they're giving to him, he's definitely curating, thinking about all of these things, because I wouldn't think for someone in his position will just let all of these information go. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I feel like it's raising red flag in his head.
In the Chancellor's flag?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I also think that his offer is not what it seems.
Yeah.
I think...
Ooh, I got a theory of that.
I think that what they're working on... see, I bounce back and forth. It's a teeter-totter.
Okay, all right.
Because I think potentially he does know who it is.
Uh-huh.
And so I think that he's lying to them, and he's just like, yeah, come to this job. I'm going to tell them that Nick and Will are on their way and to be expecting you, and he's trying to capture them. So I think that's a possibility.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
But I also think the opposite is a possibility, where he's just like, I really like these guys. Like, I can see both sides.
Yeah.
Like, he voiced that well enough that it could be taken either way. But I lean slightly more towards it's definitely a trap. The job and all that is definitely a trap.
I don't know, Ace, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, but I want to mention it later when we get to that part.
I thought that's the part we were at.
No, not yet.
Well,
We're not
sorry.
there. No, it's okay. It's okay.
No, we're basically there.
Yeah, we're basically there.
He says two words and then we're there.
Their answers though.
And then
their answers though, when he said that do you have you worked with infected firsthand, and then he said, yeah, of course we do, and you can tell, like, we know what they're talking about because they were in the arena.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We worked with infected firsthand.
dude literally got bit by it.
Yeah. And then Will,
I could say I've been close.
I was gonna say, imagine that he's like, yeah, look at this.
and
That would be a Nick thing to do. Also,
absolutely.
be like, look at how bad this is.
Yeah, because when they're bickering, who did what? I know that's later on. Who did what? I feel like Nick's personality is gonna be like that. Oh, you think that's cool? Look at this.
Sizing up whose car is better.
Yeah. Nick calling Will his best friend. What a moment.
That was nice. And then Will kind of was like, yeah, we're best
He
friends.
was like my best friend.
In my head, it's like, dude, he might be pretending, okay? Let's be honest. He might be pretending here.
Nick?
Yeah.
But here's
Oh,
the
yeah,
thing.
he is.
Like,
He is.
Yeah.
well, I don't even know if it's fully, like, he might be in his head, but I don't think he is.
Yeah.
Because right now, out of literally anybody on the planet, I think there's only 2 people that he can say he, like, fully trusts.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
Yeah. Well, not
And that's
Dean anymore.
Vera. What? Not
He
who?
doesn't fully
Not Dean
trust Vera
anymore.
either because she didn't tell him about his dad.
Well, after when they left, I feel
She's
like this
mad at
one-
him, but he does like leave on a good term still. He still gives on that good note.
All right.
And Alex,
But-
for sure.
So I won't say Alex. I think he does, but I don't think it's like a unconditional, like, for sure trust yet. but with
Dean?
but with the others like Vera, Pegs, and Will.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I think those are like
definitely
the three people that he would probably say he trusts with everything in him.
He doesn't trust Dean right now.
No, not
He
Dean.
hasn't been able to have a conversation with
No,
Dean.
not
He
yet.
does not trust Dean right now.
Maybe like Bert. You know what I mean?
Oh, we all trust Bert.
That's right.
Bert's not a part of this equation, so okay, maybe Bert too. Bert's a different story already.
Right.
Bert's
But
grandpa.
what we know for sure, though, Will thinks Nick is his best friend. Like we
I
know
don't
that
know.
100%.
The way he
100%.
responded to that, it seemed kind of like a surprise, and also I guess I'll play along.
I think it's more of a, oh, I'm his best friend. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's right. He's my best friend.
I can see
Okay.
both sides. Like I could see that it like I could see it coming from a perspective of, oh, it touched him to hear that, but he's like, oh, but we're just playing a part, so it's kind of tugging him in two ways. That's what I think.
That the way I took it, the way when he said it, I was like, oh yeah, he felt the sweetness because he never had like a besides Dot.
He deserves it, dang it. He deserves it.
I mean, I thought he was honest. I mean, that's the same tone you guys use when you say I'm your friend.
Wait, you guys why have you guys told him that?
All right, so now we get to this part. The chancellor suggested a facility. This is the job. Okay, hear me out. Okay, hear me out before you shoot me in the leg or somewhere
Wrong.
parts of my body. The chancellor suggested a facility because remember the question was, have you worked with infected firsthand? That's an important question. It will lead up to the job offer because he said the chancellor suggested a facility where they can both work. Thoughts? Working with Tanya, because working with the infected firsthand in this facility. Then he said this. He said also based on what he asked Nick, there might be an involvement with being close to an infected, and we all know who worked close to the infected, right? He also said it has been development for quite a while, and we all very much need it.
Which that term is what made me think of the Cure,
Yes.
and that he knew who it was, and so, I mean, there's a possibility it could relate to Tanya. Again, we're all still just hoping that she's still alive.
Yeah, we are.
So
Yeah. But what were we saying? You saying no?
Yep, I'm saying no.
Yeah.
I really I could be surprised by it. I could get caught off guard by it, but I don't see Tanya being part of the Republic.
I don't either. UA maybe.
No. Not even.
I could.
I think so.
I thought
From
the UA
what
was better
little
than
we know
Republic.
of UA, yeah, I could see it, but I think of the 4 factions that we know of right now, well, 5 factions that we know of right now,
5.
the most likely is going to be in the red zone with some of the fanatics.
5, including the family.
Well, family. UA,
I guess that makes 6.
Republic, Westport.
Prim.
Isn't Prim
I'm
a part
not
of one of
counting
those?
Prim.
Who are
I'm
you
not counting
counting?
Prim. So I'm counting Westport, UA, Republic,
Oh, the Disciples.
the Disciples, and then the family.
Who's the 6th?
The 6 would technically be Cole's new faction.
Oh,
Who the
gotcha.
disciples?
They're just infected though.
the
Yes,
people
but
that dug
they're still a
Cole.
unique
Oh,
type
it's
to
a
where
cult?
The cult, yeah.
they can be in intelligence.
So, never mind. We haven't gotten to that part yet. Wait, have we talked about the part where they talk about the attack?
No, not yet. That's
Okay.
in the later part.
Just
Okay.
about.
Actually, this is that moment.
Okay.
This is
He said that it's the beginning of the end. That's what he added. It's the beginning of the end. And then he said he added that everything that we are fighting for, the ongoing war. And then Nick responded with his loud mouth, "You mean the one with Westport?" And then
Bum, bum.
I know the chancellor's response of now that is a funny notion means 2 things. First, this is not a public information, right? And second,
yeah.
it's not the one that he's referring to. When he said that
That's a funny notion.
something that we're when he said this is the one that we're fighting for and the ongoing war, and then Nick said you mean the one in the Westport. He said, that's a funny notion. That means that's not what he's talking about.
Yeah,
He's
he
not
was talking
about.
I think he was just
he's
talking about the
a
war with the
different
infected.
thing. Yes, that's what I think. That's why I'm leading towards more of the either whether it's not Tanya or someone else, they're trying to find a cure. Which
Yeah,
makes sense.
so-
Which makes sense because when they this is not for sure yet. If Boar and Walrus found that Nick is immune, right? They send that blood to the Chancellor, his blood to the Chancellor. So they're working on that. So everything is lining up towards that. That's the ongoing wars to find the cure.
Yeah.
Which also can lead to Chancellor knowing who Nick is. Like he knew Nick all along.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Go ahead.
right now, the way this episode is starting to get me to lean is not cement that the Republic is bad. Maybe the Republic is very gray. Where they do bad things but for the hope of a good result kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like again, like they're being shaped out very much as a villain right now. And but sometimes the gray can be the villain.
Put it in D&D lingo. Are they chaotic good?
No, I would say more chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral.
Because
Okay.
they'll do what they have to do to get the result that they want.
Gotcha.
Morals, screw morals. They're like, if this is what it takes to get this result, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And that's what they're kind of giving me the vibes of right now. Not that they're necessarily bad, but they're not good for sure.
Yeah.
And so, like, it, especially because, he could have been trying to disguise it, but from what he at least said is that there were people dressed in Westport, which we know that could be true because of how Prim was trying to start a war.
Yeah. I know.
Initially, we suspected that was because Prim was trying to start a war on the Republic's behalf. This just creates kind of a what if. It's not as simple as that.
So this gave me a random thought. What if Westport is actually the bad guys? Because the UA and the Republic have grown significantly. Westport has kind of just stayed there, right? Which instantly just made me think of the whole theory of in Star Wars where the rebels are actually the bad guys and the Emperor are the good guys because they create stability in economy across the entire galaxy. And the rebels are just terrorists that destroyed it. When they blew up the Death Star, they killed millions of people in one instant. So
No. The second Death Star, when they blew up the second Death Star, those are innocent people trying to construct the Death Star.
Yeah, exactly. Both of them are.
Well, the first one, it kind of makes sense. They're blowing up planets, but the second one, those are innocent people.
Yeah. So yeah, but that kind of same theory, what if the Westport has kind of morphed from what it originally was, and they're actually the aggressors and the bad guys in this moment.
That would be a twist to the story. But
that would be a twist.
But knowing CJ during her leadership, I don't think she would do that.
I don't think so either. But
unless someone is conspiring under
it would be an interesting theory. Let us know your thoughts on that, anyone.
Well,
but more than likely, it's just Prim.
Hold on.
Prodding.
Let's get to that portion real quick. I'm so sorry.
No, you're not.
While Nick was talking, you can hear Will freaking out in the background. It's like,
How the news gets so distorted the further away you are from the actual event will never cease to amaze me. You might want to recheck your sources. I can't tell you how many times I have heard outrageous and wild claims about this or that, some downright dangerous. See, nowadays, people make up all kinds of rumors, maybe to make themselves look big, or I don't know, maybe they're just bored. See, what I'm more interested in is facts, truths, things that can be relied upon, witnessed, tested. It's the only way to be sure of anything in this world. And what I do know is what I saw with my own 2 eyes. It's true. We did expand westward into Liberty Province along the rail line to protect against the rising attacks we had been having, from raiders or infected But the truth is, right after we did that, our province was directly and maliciously attacked by soldiers wearing Westport's flag. Those that were killed had the marks of guardians.
There's no way they would do that.
Couldn't believe it myself. But I saw the uniforms and wrist codes. But this is all public knowledge. I'm sure you'll see the truth for yourself once you get into town.
You know those moments where you know the truth, and then you're starting other people's opinions in this truth, and you're starting to sway. It's like, did I really hear that right, or is this just my interpretation of this situation? Because the thing is, we all know it's Prim, right, that attacked Westport.
I was
I
going
think
to say
so.
Prim.
It's Prim, because they got Grant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yes.
You're right.
It's Prim.
Yes.
It's Prim. Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
sorry.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if that's the case, Nick thinks...
Prim literally, they stated Prim did it. Like,
Yeah.
the board did.
Right. So Nick thinks, and Westport thinks it's the Republic, and the Republic thinks it's Westport. But
Yeah.
the truth is, it's not them.
It's Prim being the instigators.
Right. Which is
Somebody
our,
else trying to set up the entire thing.
which
Yeah.
is our
Yep.
early theory about this whole train thing, that it was a setup. It was a frame to whatever reason that may be, whether war or anything. That is that's what Prim is doing.
Yeah, I think the situation that happened to was it Westport, right? That got caught up on the train.
Yeah.
It's the
Grant.
same exact situation, but in reverse.
Yeah, in Republic.
Yeah.
When he's saying that they're wearing a Westport uniform,
Correct.
they got the Westport uniform
It
and
was just too
pretended to be
convenient.
Westport.
It was so
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing, but that's what I assume. That's what what's her name wanted, the board. I mean, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought I was like, am I thinking this wrong? Did I interpret that whole thing wrong?
Thought you were losing it for a second.
I thought so too. 'Cause it's like,
Part of me feels that the chancellor is on it as well, because he has connections with the board, unless that's a whole different.
yeah, but okay, so whether he's just really good in lying, right, or the actor
very
just that, right, or the actor who played Chancellor has no idea of what really is going on, and he's just playing the character really well. He sounds so genuine the way he was blaming Westport.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he really thinks Westport did that. He's not just playing Nick and trying to twist the truth. I feel like he thinks this is the truth. The way he explaining it to Will. So I think they're both getting played, Republic and Westport.
I could see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess okay, getting played. Otherwise, yeah, he's a good liar.
Right.
Because he has a connection with Prim, and two, the whole suspicious thing about the plane of his predecessor.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's his little vibe he's bringing out of him.
With the Prim though, I think he just likes connection. Like, he connects with Prim people, and Prim people connects with him. But you know, little did he know he's getting betrayed by Prim, kind of situation.
I can see that too,
Yeah.
because they're both snakes in their own way.
Yeah. Or at least Prim for sure.
Yeah.
Nick was very defensive and kind of made himself obvious. Go ahead.
Sorry about that. I think the only person that know that was all a trap was just Mira and Riley, right? None of these guys know that it was all a lie.
Alex.
Alex knew it was that the train wreck. Oh,
Yeah, because
now he does.
he was with the prisoners.
yeah, that's right.
The-
Now he
the
does.
Slaves, yeah.
But that's right. It's Alex, Riley, and Mira. No one else knows
Dot, because Alex was with Dot.
that. With that,
Yeah.
because otherwise, no one else knows that's a trap, or it was all a setup.
Right. Yeah.
Because Vera doesn't know, and these guys believe that this is all
Right.
an actual thing happened between the Republic and
Yeah, even CJ
Okay.
and all of the people in Westport that we know of.
unless Mira and the team gets there and tell them it was all a lie.
Right.
However, it could
Like
be
Grant. Well, Grant would tell him. Well, they're at Atlas. Grant is at Atlas right now.
but Mira and them are heading back to
heading
Westport.
back. Yep.
Unless it's too late that she lost position and Hobbs is also on that whole thing.
Who said that theory? You did. You said that theory, right, Ace? That
Yeah, I think Hobbs is a crook.
No. Well, we know that, but you said that when we go back to Westport, it's after the election, and CJ lost.
I do think that is the point that we'll finally get back.
Yeah, CJ lost to Hobbs. Yep, I like that.
I think that would be like.
It's very likely that might happen.
I feel like that's like one of the strongest like storytelling points that we could have hit right now.
Yeah.
Like getting back right before, I feel like weirdly is less climactic. Or getting back like in middle of or whatever. I think it's like the most intense thing would be if we missed the thick of it and suddenly CJ comes back and they're in the thick of it. CJ never got the message because CJ's in the thick of it.
Right.
Now other people are gonna find out about this message from the family because CJ wasn't there to receive it.
Right.
Because somebody else has taken power. Like I feel because that's kind of the train that, Story of Survival did. Like we left the colony in a bad state. We left Westport in a bad state, and we came back, and now it's in a worse state.
Right. Yes.
I see where you're going.
And it wasn't that we left it in a declining state. We left it in a rough spot, but we came back in a miserable spot, like dictatorship, like people ruling down, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I can see that too. So Nick was very defensive. He kind of made himself obvious. Thank God for Will, who came up with a funny rumor. How unlikely this rumor is.
They can turn into stone.
Yeah, an infected bite that turns someone into a stone.
That was clutch.
That was hilarious.
I laugh out loud. I'm like, it's kind of hard. It's hard to whether believe it or not because we know Will, you know what I mean? Like he knows a bunch of things, but at the same time, so he's probably like, I just came up with that right now just to sway the information and not make it obvious.
That's wild.
That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, turn into stone. We got Medusa infected out there.
The Chancellor said outsiders. Chancellor said outsiders are painting us this or that, but in the end they'll be thanking us. Any thoughts on that? They'll be thanking us.
Say that again.
The Chancellor said that. He said that outsiders are painting us this or that, but in the end they'll be thanking us.
I think it's because he thinks that they're going to have the cure.
Yes, I believe that too. I believe that's where we're going.
Either that
from the
or
blood
they think they're going to have
of
some
Will,
type
or Nick.
of ultimate protection.
Like they're going to lead the whole country again?
Yeah, like they're gonna unite everyone under one territory because they have the strongest defense. They have some superpower that's hidden away.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Captain
some automated
Planet.
system, blah 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 blah. Like there's a ton of different options.
Yeah.
I think I like the cure angle a lot. I haven't even thought of that myself, so I do like the cure angle a lot.
You didn't
For
think of the
me-
cure?
I know, right? It's so
No.
weird.
Huh.
He has a busy life.
He
You don't
does.
think about like the good possibilities.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Me have ideas? Never. That part of my brain is missing. Sorry, guys.
Nice. That was
It's
good.
funny because it's true.
That's good. That's good.
Nobody's safe.
What were you
go
No, I
gonna
was
say,
gonna
Wakka?
say because these guys are about to get on the inside, or we're assuming that they are, or we assume that the Chancellor know who these guys are and want to capture Nick. Do you think that the reason why they want to capture Nick, because we are thinking that Tanya is maybe on the Republic side, but what if, because she also is immune, what if that she was used and they already or depleted
Used her up.
Bled her up.
Yeah, and then Nick will find out. There.
No, I'm leaning more of a they just found out about the blood, like Nick's blood.
So
But just the way Bohr was so excited to give whatever that gift to
Right.
the Chancellor, it sounded like, hey, we got it, we got something. You know what I mean?
With that being said, I don't think Tanya's with them. Because, like you said, she was immune.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your body recreates blood. You can take, like, half a pint or something like that and then wait a little bit.
He's going Last of Us route. They gotta kill him to get the cure.
Yeah, so, like, she can keep testing her blood.
Right.
They don't need Nick's, so
And if she thought that there was a real cure opportunity, she would let them.
Right.
yeah, and
Which
so
Nick said that they did that at Westport.
Yeah.
They got poked. They both got poked multiple times.
Yeah, so
and
I
he
don't-
still didn't get any.
if he knows that he is immune and that the cure is potentially in his blood, I do not think that they are working with Tanya. Because that would just they would already have a source, and so
Yeah.
and quite frankly,
Now-
her immunity is probably stronger than his, simply because, in terms of genealogy, what?
Pureness of blood.
Yeah, pureness. Like,
Yeah.
his is diluted, so to speak,
Right.
unless her husband or his dad was immune also. But still, like, they probably have stronger immunity for some reason.
Right.
And so, yeah.
It would also depend on how that gene works, because I mean, it could just be a dominant gene that just passes, so it never has that split delusion and stuff like that.
True.
If that's been something that Casey has genuinely even gone down the rabbit trail of, but
He has a, what do they call a hematologist on payroll? Blood.
Yo,
I think that's a
yeah.
hematologist, I think.
yeah, I don't doubt any of that stuff anymore. After what I learned about what Seth MacFarlane did for
Bloodotology?
Ted, I will never
Wait,
doubt
what'd you say?
anything like that. Ted MacFarlane for Fred, dude contracted an astrologist or astronomer or whatever to see what the stars looked like 26 years ago on this day, and got an accurate representation of what the stars look like for the movie Ted.
That's hilarious. But yeah, hematology is the study of blood.
Yeah.
Kind of surprised in myself that I remembered that.
Hematology.
So yeah, the branch of medicine that studies blood forming organs like bone marrow, and the diseases that affect them. So it's exactly what it would be, is hematology.
Hematology.
Yes.
All right. Well,
Interesting.
the chancellor gave them a card. They said, "Call that when you get to justice, and you will have a job." And then he left. Chancellor left. Sorry, the security called the chancellor. He has a call from Kramer and Andreas. Now another new character. Andreas.
Oh yeah, because Kramer's the president.
Yep.
Yes.
Kramer's the
Okay.
general, and he's the president. The chancellor gave them a card and said, "Call that, and you will have a job." After he left, Will said,
Oh,
"Whew."
hang on.
"Go ahead."
Did anyone else over halfway expect the server to come up and hand them the bill?
Yeah. Here
I
you
was
go.
like, are they gonna do that to him? Is that gonna happen? Like,
That's,
I would lose it. I would
so
lose
messed up.
my mind.
Dine and dash.
Will said, "I can't believe that he didn't catch on." And I said, "That's what you think." That's what you think.
Yeah, they definitely seem like the smart type of like villainous character.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they got played very hard there.
Yes. Will said, "I don't
And
think."
mean, Nick got played.
Yeah, for sure. Will said, "I don't think anyone from UA would know anything about the attack." And I said, "Exactly. Your loud mouth, opening your loud mouth about that. There's no way UA would know anything about that.
yeah.
Especially like common people. You know what I mean? There's no way."
It's north of them, like out of their way. Their people weren't affected.
Right.
Why would they hear anything about it unless somebody specifically went there to spread the word?
Right.
But no one's going to, because none of the two parties that were actually affected were a part of it.
Right.
They were both affected. That's it.
Yeah. It's weird.
It still bothers me that Will doesn't know what Prim was doing. No, despite how involved he was with Prim. Like, none of what Bor was doing, he doesn't know. But those are like big events.
Yeah, but I think he's too busy.
I think he only knows the city. Like, he only knows what happened in the
was-
city. Anything outside of it, he probably has no clue.
And he was kind of stuck underground too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
Nick was pushing Nick was pushing to will the Republic attack Westport. What the heck is that English? I had a stroke typing this. Nick was telling
speaking.
Will. I know. Nick was pushing to Will that the Republic attacked Westport. Will said, I love this. Will said, maybe they're both wrong.
Yeah.
And I said,
Yeah.
yup, Will, that's right.
He said
They're
that. I
both
got
wrong.
so excited.
I know. Will said, well, maybe
never
they're
know.
both wrong.
Yeah.
And then here comes the steak. They're eating the steak. Will's hesitation on the steak is something that someone would sees a steak for the first time would react to. If you get served a steak for the first time, you've never heard of it, never seen it, and
Yeah.
it gets served right in front of you, that's the same reaction someone, I can guarantee you, would react to that steak. Like, it's squishy.
Oh,
What is
yeah.
this thing? You know what I mean?
Like, this is cow.
Yeah,
Oh,
and also considering Will, because Will had seen like dead bodies and dead infected.
Right.
When he said squishy, it's like, yeah, like those dead people.
that doesn't disgust you, but this does.
Yeah, I know. Will took a bite and lost his mind.
Like, whoa, this is
Yeah.
good.
So good.
So it's hilarious because when I moved here in America, when I was 21, I was 21 when I moved here in America. That was the very first time I've had steak.
That was like
Never
last year.
had steak, right? Never had steak in the Philippines because they're expensive. You know what I mean? And I had the same reaction. The first bite, I was like, "What the heck am I missing out? This is amazing," and I loved it.
So you can relate with Will.
Yeah, I could relate with Will. Kind of.
Yeah, I love Nick's comment there. Like, hey, let me have a
Yeah,
bite of yours.
yeah.
I just want to make sure it's not poisoned.
Make sure it's not poison or anything like that.
Will's like, no.
He said that
was so
straight
good.
out of my soul.
I know. No, but just the fact that Will at first was hesitant and then took one bite, is like, I'm not sharing anymore. This is mine
Yeah,
now.
this is mine.
That's so good. All right. I think with confidence, I think we're gonna end this half of the season with just Nick, Will, mainly Nick, Will, and Vera. Yeah, maybe we'll have a little glimpse of what's happening in Westport, and maybe with Cole or Pegs. But I think this Will's conversation getting to justice will end on the next episode. Not end, but we'll continue the next episode. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna get there. Have you guys seen the updated map in UA? At least in UA,
I haven't
UA
seen
with
it.
Westport and Republic.
Where
There
is
was-
that at?
I think it's on. Oh, it might have been on Reddit. It was on Reddit. I know it's not there in their website, but there's one city there that's called Pag-asa. Pag-asa in my language, and it's actually spelled the way it's put it in there. It's spelled Pag-ASA. In my language, Pag-asa means hope, and I feel like Casey did that for a reason.
Intentional.
Yeah, he knows that there's a Filipino listener, and I'm gonna put hope in there. Yeah, because Pag-asa means hope in my language.
Not like it was probably written.
Before you existed.
Yeah. What the heck is Pag-asa anyways? Like, besides hope in my language, I don't know. All right, let's go to Vera. Exciting episode here, exciting portion of the episode. We get to Vera coming into the family's dinner party. She was planning to delay it till Fingers snuck up on her. Fingers. It's refreshing to hear Fingers again because we
Right.
missed her in
Yeah.
a couple episodes. She passed out. Speaking of which,
Hey, best sleep she's gotten.
yeah,
exactly.
no
I know. I
kidding.
was gonna
No
say
kidding.
this. Fingers giving props to Nakoma. It's kind of a weird scene. You know what I mean? She's saying,
Yeah,
A
I
little
was like-
bit, but I also
She's an
get it.
understanding
Yeah.
person.
It means she's not upset. She understands why, because she
Yeah.
even said, like, you're
I know.
gonna go out, you're gonna go out fighting.
well,
like,
because
It made it feel more real too, though.
Right.
Like, it made it feel like something someone from the family would say.
yeah, well, because remember when Oliver said, "I don't think Fingers is gonna be happy." You know what I mean? Now,
Yeah.
do you think she knows that Nakoma is still in the house? Well, probably after the
Well,
whole
we know
conversation
now.
with Angel Senior, probably she knows. You know what I mean? But at that point, I don't think she knows. I don't think she knows that Nakoma is still in there.
I thought she was.
I think she does.
I thought she was there when the whole conversation was happening. She might be in a daze or a dude.
Oh, she's out. Chick is out. But I think I don't know. I feel like knowing Fingers if she knows that Nicoma's still there. Screw dinner party. I'm hunting Nicoma.
Well, she will probably know the secret room that we'll eventually see
yeah,
later.
yeah, exactly.
I'm excited to learn more about that. I was kind of bummed that didn't get brought up here.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I know that was basically set up and ignored for the
Yes.
sake of the end of this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna come back for sure. There's no way that's just gonna be left off like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is not One Piece.
1000%.
This is We're Alive. All right. They came in the hall and we dove into more family information. Let's get into this. We have two main characters in here that was brought up. Two new characters in here that got brought up. Fingers described Francis Amsel.
Yeah.
Yep. Not a very important Amsel in the family, but it's a famous politician. And he's like, oh, you probably don't know him. You're too young. We got Francis Amsel. That's the first, besides Mera and Scratch and Latch, that is another Amsel that we know.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. You don't know him.
Then also the head of the family.
Oh yeah. You talking about
The origin, the original
founder? The founder.
Yeah, the founders.
Yep. And then this one, is kind of interesting. The chick in the green dress, Lauren Black,
Yeah.
Fort Knox.
Does anyone know?
This is Gold Rush.
Yes. Okay.
This is Danny Trejo's wife. Danny Trejo's wife.
Really?
I think so. Because said they took the gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
She mentioned she did the biggest heist.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so that's the gold that they have in Gold Rush?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was at that very same fort.
Yeah, because when they saw the gold, they saw a dead with a what is it, a ring or something about Blackburn.
So the family did the heist.
Yes.
And then the people in Gold Rush came by and got more after the family left?
No, they saw, because I forgot the story of Gold Rush. This is why we need to do a podcast of this.
We're going to do one.
We're definitely going to do one. They died. Like, they didn't get the gold because the gold was still there.
I think the mission wasn't finished.
Yeah, it wasn't
The
finished.
family's mission?
That in the Gold Rush.
But they
ending
said
of
that
the
they
gold-
got gold.
Well, they
But
got
the
family
different
did.
mission.
No, they
That's,
said that they didn't get everything that they wanted to, but they got enough to live for years. That's what she said in about the family.
Are you talking about in Descendants?
Right now, yeah.
No, I think they got gold somewhere else, but the Gold Rush gold is another mission. It's a separate mission.
Maybe, but the Fort Knox heist, they didn't. She said that they didn't get everything they expected to.
Yeah.
But the amount they did get
Yeah.
was enough for the family to live on for years. So they still, the Fort Knox heist, like was
still a
success.
success,
It
yeah.
wasn't as big a success.
'Cause I
Otherwise,
think-
it wouldn't have been anything to note of.
'Cause I
If
think-
they failed, you wouldn't go, she's the one who did the Fort Knox heist,
Right.
which completely failed and they didn't get anything.
So
like, that's not.
I think they left off some of the gold, and that's what the soldiers saw.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's the same gold.
Is it?
I think so because they the gold was left at that fort, and they mentioned the name.
Yeah.
I forgot.
And they will never see that gold again because the bridge blew up with the gold.
Yeah, it fell. It fell.
All right. We might have to go back and listen to Gold Rush.
We have to.
But I think she also mentioned that she was also a potential patriarch.
Yeah, matriarch.
Matriarch.
It says
Yeah,
right
she was
here,
supposed to
about
be.
to be a matriarch, but she declined. She wants to be anonymous.
Makes
Privacy.
sense.
Yeah. I said right here, the gold they took is that Gold Rush story with the dead Blackburn. Yep. And then while they were talking, you can hear kids running around. And Vera said, "There's kids in here?" And Finger said, "Triplets: Quentin, Eli, and Sam." Never mentioned if they were, if they were part of any. Well, they're part of family, but not specific family. Not which family. Yeah. Now Oliver announced that they were sitting. Vera, of course, sitting at the main table. While she was heading there, you can already hear Angel Sr. complaining and yelling and cussing around. Yeah, a typical Angel Sr.
Well, it's his house. So
yeah.
He has a high standard.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when Vera got there, Angel Sr. I love this. Angel Sr. said, Angel Sr. told Vincent to show respect to Vera. Vincent said no. Angel Sr. said, Angel Sr. reminded him about the butt kicking she gave him.
Oh my god, I like that where he was like, he was just like, you better respect her. Yeah. That was good.
That's so good.
This scene kind of gave me a different perspective of him. But he's still the cool, tough voice guy. But this scene made it warm about him when as it leaned on telling the story. Go ahead.
Oh, like humanized him.
Yeah,
it did humanize him. Oliver welcoming Angel Sr. And then they're both roasting each other. Right.
I guess it'll have to wait.
Thank you all for coming out. I know many of you have traveled a long way to be here tonight. Some just happened to stumble down the hall. Even though we often share the same house, it's not often we all come together anymore. And what better time than to welcome back an old friend?
Friend, aren't you the one that's supposed to be good at lying?
Because we all know what you're good at.
Fucking guy, comedian over here.
We also welcome a new face. If you've already had the privilege to meet her in training, then you witnessed the fire in her that every family member should strive for. My daughter, Vera.
Bravo. Go ahead, stand up, Missy. Go ahead.
Oh, hi.
Angel Sr. said, you're supposed to be good at lying or something like that.
Yeah, you're the one who's supposed to be good at lying.
It was so good. And then this part, when he said, all right, I know you guys are hungry and you can't wait for what the chef prepared. I love that they call him Chef. No name.
Yeah.
unless that's his name. His name is Chef.
Right?
like no chef this or chef that. No, just Chef. Which is kind of like makes sense too, you know, because I feel like if you're not part of the family, you're not given a name. Because even the waiters, they're called associates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey, associates. You know, can you guys be, you know, this and that? So if you're not part of the family, you don't get a name. You just called whatever your job is.
Fair. Yeah.
Oliver welcoming welcoming people that's soon to be part of the family who will join, or people that coming back, or old people, and jokingly said, unless Tenudo killed him first.
Dude, the backhanded little jabs the whole time. They're like, yes, in good fun, I'm going to kill you next.
In good fun.
Which brings me to, I know we're gonna do this later on, but Dark Elite posted in here. This is great detail, by the way, detail awareness. He said that Angel Sr. collected all those rings as trophies for lawful killings within the families. This could explain a lot about the character actions in story survival. Before Durai tried to kill Scratch, he asked for her ring because it would have been a lawful killing, and he likely would have worn her ring afterwards. When Angel returned Latch's body to Scratch, it was a sincere gesture because he gave back Latch's ring for mourning instead of disrespectfully keeping it, unlike his father, Angel Sr. Scratch returned the favor by placing Angel's ring at his burial site. However, out of anger and likely insanity, Scratch definitely took Durai's ring, just as CJ said, and she may have worn it herself. That was interesting. I didn't think about that. I didn't connect that from story of survival. That was good.
Yeah, it definitely does add a different layer to that situation, because before I would have just thought, it was because of he told him to told her to take off the ring because he wasn't going to kill someone of the family.
Yeah.
That's what I've thought all this time.
Right.
And I thought it was as simple as that. Case closed. I don't think that no more.
Yeah. So it's like let me take out your privileges first before I kill you. Because if I kill you with that privileges, I will have a vendetta on me. Right? That's how I took it too when the first time I listened to it.
It's like if I kill you while you have that, I'm wrong.
Yes. Yep.
I'm not gonna be wrong.
Yeah. That was good. That was really good. Angel started asking Vera some questions. It started with being in Prim. I'm assuming Vincent told them the whole thing. Still kind of makes me think about Boar's identity within the family. Because he wasn't surprised about Prim. Like, Prim existed and things like that. But none of them are like, I wonder. Just like Mira, when she's like, I figured someone from the family's running this place. None of them had that thought. Or maybe some of them had that thought and they're just hiding it. He said about Nakoma, Vincent said, I love this. Vincent said that she has darts. Angel Sr. said, well, it's just a scratch. Just hearing that word, you know what I mean? They put a zing in my head. Scratch. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's got to be
Just
intentional. Yeah, I know. Exactly. It's got to be intentional. You know what I mean? It's got to be Casey teasing us. You know, let me put that word in there.
It's the freaking moment like the hyenas from Lion King. Mufasa.
Yeah. Angel Sr. said he's trying to catch. That's why he's asking. He's trying to catch up. That's why he's asking. And then here comes Vera, talking about someone who's losing their thoughts. Vera grilled Angel Sr. if where he has been. Angel Sr. said, "You don't even have a ring." She said, "You have a lot. Give me one of yours."
That was honestly kind of a cold line.
Yeah, she was.
I thought
pretty
that was
ballsy on
a
that.
crazy line.
Yeah. Vera, sorry, Angel Sr. asking about her mom. He knew that she's from Westport, but they have no idea, besides Oliver, that she's the daughter of CJ. Vera testing him about him not being the patriarch, like poking the bear. This is like scary, bro. This is super scary.
Yeah. She was rubbing it in his face like crazy.
Yeah.
But he was handling it well, though.
He
You're
was.
like, oh, you're not the top guy? No.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, you're
She's
going to get
definitely-
stabbed? Oh, no.
She's definitely like hitting the ego for sure.
Well, which in
Oh,
conjunction
man.
with the comment he made earlier about she may be running this place one day,
Yeah.
makes me feel like he's almost okay with not being the patriarch.
Yeah.
It did make that a very interesting thought.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think that it's not that he's... I don't think that it's that he's okay not being the patriarch. He's like, everything was done right. So he has, like, rightfully
gotcha.
resigned almost.
Yeah.
Like, he's like it wasn't stolen from him. It wasn't done wrongly.
No.
He said a
Yeah.
situation happened that was out of everyone's control, and I lost it.
And
So, bummer. It's just like, you play a game of chess with someone, you don't show up to the match, you lost.
Yeah.
Even though people think you're going to win, you still lost.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so,
Unless
he's
you're
being...
Magnus.
Yeah.
Magnus.
We don't talk about Magnus.
He's always late. That dude is always late.
he's a-
Still wins.
He's
Still
a
wins.
guy. But yeah, so it's like one of those. Like, he lost. He knows he lost, but it's not because he did anything wrong. A situation happened. He lost. He resigned to it. He's like, oh, well, the family's still the family. We're still doing our thing. But now he's like, this is the leader's daughter who already has crazy promise. So looking at it from that angle, she just might have a lead on even her son, or his son, who he might want to have taken his mantle, so to speak.
Yeah. He started talking about his background and what happened to him. He showed his nasty scar, which made Vincent like, "Oh my gosh, stop showing me that." It's got to be nasty, then. You know what I mean? That
like
thing's
I've seen it
got to
before,
be
Dad.
gross.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Please.
he probably had to clean like
do
infections
it.
off it and stuff, so it's probably just this gnarly, grotesque thing.
Right. He talked about being in Puerto Rico. We talked about this a little bit. Crashed his plane 2008 and busted his arm from that. It's so funny because it's like, he said, Vera said, someone did that to you? She said, nobody can do this to me.
Nobody
did it to
would get this
myself.
close.
Yeah, he was like,
That was cold.
That was a cold line.
Holy
He
crap.
was so confident about
Yeah. This scar? Nobody
Bro.
did this. I did it to myself.
I got scared from that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
no. Oh, no.
Vera recollected Jeremy was in jail 2009 and back in the family August of 2010. He got stuck in the island for 7 months by himself. I also love the reference that he said, crap, I had in my head.
Castaway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wilbur.
Wilson.
Wilson. Why did I say Wilbur?
Wilson. I'm sorry,
It's been a long
Wilson.
time.
It's Wilson because that's the brand of the volleyball.
Branded, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the volleyball.
yeah. Vincent. That's the name. That's the name of his volleyball. Now, when he escaped the island, bam, infected. He came back. This is kind of sad. He came back, found out his wife Rachel got by the infected, then mentioned about Angel Jr. And of course, he got the wrong info. They were right. He got the wrong info about Michael leaving him, or his friends, or the people that he trusts leaving him. Now I
didn't like that confirmation.
I know.
Yeah. Wait,
it's
say that again.
He emphasized.
He said that his boy was left by the people he thought he could trust the most.
Oh yeah.
1 point. Michael Killer.
Wait, one? That's probably like number 10.
I was gonna say, you're gonna say one.
No. I'm talking about like plus
For
one.
right now.
Plus one. Plus
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Plus
yeah,
one. That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
meant.
yeah.
Sorry. Plus one.
No,
Plus 1
dude,
point.
that was a whole ace right there. That's a full 5 score. I wrap it up, it's gone. Like,
You know, what bothers me just on that, since we're on that topic, because they kept saying that he had a mission on East Coast, that he might have attacked Michael. I'm like, do they know Westport's in the West Coast?
No, he said the West Coast.
No, he said
No,
East.
East Coast.
He said East
Yeah,
Coast.
he said East Coast,
throwing
and that's
me
when
off.
I was like, that's sketchy because
I mean, unless he was gone
everything
for
that
so
happened
long.
was on the west side. Yeah.
I mean,
Unless
unless
he's lying.
I thought they just recently said though that they were near each other. That him
No.
and
Exactly.
Senior were
That's
near
why
each
I'm
other.
like, that's kind of sketchy.
Who said that they were
Vincent.
near each other?
It was Vince.
It was Vincent.
Him and Vincent. Yeah.
Yeah.
They said that they were near each other.
Yeah, because Lake Matthews is just right off the.
Well, I get that, but he said that he was near his dad. Not Vincent. Sorry,
Vincent.
Sorry. Yeah.
Because
I can't remember if it was that those two specifically had said that, or if it
But
was
I think it's more of a they both have
or
missions.
if it was Oliver had said that they were.
They both
near.
had missions.
Yeah, they both had missions. It's just it
Yeah.
didn't make sense to me, unless he was out for so long. Given the time that once he was done with East Coast mission, he flew all the way to the West Coast. But
Could
that's
be,
a-
but yeah.
that's a stretch.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
think though he was gonna ride another plane? I don't think that dude's gonna ride another plane. It's
I bet he
traumatized.
did, dude. Are you kidding me?
I'm
This
sure he
dude
did.
sounds
After-
like he don't care about nothing.
Yeah, it's
He's
true,
like,
true. After
dude
Puerto
literally
Rico.
No,
said
he's not
that
the
nobody
chancellor.
can touch me. I had to get taken down by a plane to get a scar, not die, get a scar.
He'd be like looking at. He's flying. And he's looking at his arm. Yeah, it'll be fine.
Reminds me of
flesh wound.
freaking Raikage from Naruto. Dude's like, only person who can hurt me is me.
yeah.
What?
Naruto.
Anime.
Okay. It's alright.
Yeah, I gathered that.
Um,
By
so-
name, I didn't.
That's it.
Well, I knew the name. I know the name. That's the one
Yeah,
that
and-
makes all the kids run with their hands behind their back, right?
Yes.
Like Sonic the
That's
Hedgehog.
right. That's right. Now,
That hurt me.
and also doing that. After that, Vera said the truth. She said this family life caught up to him.
Yeah,
Because she said, I know that story. Maybe this family life caught up to him, and that triggered Angel Senior. Our dude started walking out.
Yeah.
So my thoughts in this is the reason why he got triggered and finally got offended. It's definitely against Angel Jr.'s decision of leaving the family, and he's hurt by that.
Well, I think he's hurt by his death in general.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his son.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
somebody stated in the comments, familial bond is strong.
Right.
So
Right.
And the way that he sounds, he was probably very much looking forward to Angel Jr. being like his successor, being his legacy. Like from how he talks and how he sounds, that sounds like something important to him, and he lost all of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
because Vincent's a letdown.
Well, dude, I mean, I mean, we laugh about that, but it really sounds like that too.
It is, yeah.
Like,
He
they
makes fun of him
100%
for being
give that.
taken down by Nakoma. Because he's like, I mean, back when he talked about that, he's like, yeah, but she got the drop on you. That's bad enough.
yeah. A freaking Vera.
I kind of felt bad for him.
I know.
For that.
Out of
I
all
was
the
like,
people,
good lord, dude, just getting shot left and right.
Well, dude needs to grow up.
yeah.
Homie catching strays.
There's no safe space. Snowflake.
This made Angel's Senior got up and about to leave. Oliver stopped him and said, "Hey, we're gonna change the subject. It's okay." And then Angel Senior said, "You know what? I'm gonna leave you guys. It's okay." Vincent decided to follow him, and then Oliver and Vera step away. Oliver said to move fast. This is the opportunity for your last task.
And he calls me a good liar.
Sorry if I pushed too hard. It's just, after what you said, I couldn't let him keep talking like that.
You did well. You didn't back down when he challenged you. You turned it around on him, made a crack in his defense. Told you, it's in your blood. Now we just need to move fast.
What do you mean? Move? Move where?
I think it's time for your last test, the final step to prove yourself and earn your ring.
What? Now?
Never pass up an opportunity that's presented itself only once. Tenuto's off balance. He feels defeated and alone. This is when he's going to slip up.
Wait. I don't understand. What am I supposed to do?
You're going to sneak into the furthest part of the West Wing,
What's there?
where the Tenutos live in Iram.
Wait, you actually expect me to spy on members of your own family? In their house? Who have a track record of killing many people, including other members?
That is exactly what you're going to do.
And this made me think, how is this the last test? Is the last test sneaking? Is that the last test? Because there's no
Probably
way.
something around the lines of espionage.
Yeah. Yeah, because it can be like an SOP for a family's exam to sneak on other family members. It cannot be that.
I don't think it'd be that.
Yeah, I think it's
But it would be
I think
a
doing
stealth
something-
mission. Of
yeah,
some
stealth
This is
kind.
like a
mission.
special mission. Yeah.
And if she happens to find something that's like incredibly damning to him, then yes, I think that would at that point qualify. It's one of those things
Yeah.
like you're wrong until you find out it's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're doing the wrong thing. Oh shoot, you found out something crazy. Oh, you made the right call. Like it's gonna end up being like that type of justification. I mean.
Yeah. It's just this is when I feel like this is when Nakoma is going to be proven right in a way of knowing, because she's always been suspicious of what's happening in the family, right? She never trusted the
Yeah.
family, whether it's Oliver or anybody else in the
No,
family.
no if and or but. Like
Right,
always
right.
was.
And I feel like
something's weird.
And I feel like Vera might get caught, and if she did, Nakoma will save her butt.
Yeah.
That's what I think is about to happen.
Yep.
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Nakoma's
And that's
gonna
also
join
going to put Jeremy like indebted to Nakoma.
Yeah.
them. Right.
And also in the pickle, you know what I mean? Knowing that if they find out that it was Oliver who sent her, and they're
Yeah.
teaming up into this,
Possibly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unless, like what he said, unless she proved everything right,
Yeah.
that he did something suspicious.
That
and-
senior killed him.
Right. I love the way Vera was telling or confirming it to Oliver. It's like, you mean the person that's super dangerous and killed everyone, including family members? And Oliver said, yeah, that is the mission. Without even hesitation.
Actually,
What's funny
That is the mission, yeah. You're right.
is what I can foresee happening is in the next episode, we're going to start out with Nick and Will. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to move to Vera sneaking in. She's going to find something. And then she's going to say, start to say what she found. And then the episode's going to end. And it's one of those massive cliffhangers that we don't know about it until the start of the next season, what it says.
I don't know if it'll be that type of cliffhanger. Just because normally we have some form of conclusion.
But there's so
I
many
mean,
storylines, we may not have to have a conclusion on this.
For at least one of them. That's what I'm saying. That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
I guess.
Riley.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if we just leave these two storylines and go over to Riley.
They're having a funeral ceremony. Crap! Right next to Angel Jr.
Yeah.
No, but I think based on how
Third time around.
based on how Casey is doing every episodes, he needs his blue ball. Based on how Casey's doing every episodes, I think the next episode is gonna start with Vera, because we ended with Vera. Because it's always like I don't know if you notice, every episode is like you end in here, wherever you
It's
end.
It's been
Continue.
continuing the scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll continue to Vera.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Come.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I wonder if the secret that Vera is going to find out is unexpected. That might be against her dad. That or make him paint to be the bad guy rather. Because for some reason I'm getting
twist, but
Yeah.
I'm getting a good vibe off of Angel Senior. Unless he's just
well,
playing
here's
it
the
off
thing.
really bad.
I don't think, like, from everything we're seeing right now, I don't think he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
I think he jumped the gun because of his pride. Like, I think that he jumped the gun off wrong info, bad intel, and it's gonna cause a big issue.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, I don't think Vincent's a bad guy either. I think he's a little bit of a prick, but I don't think he's a bad guy.
a little.
Well,
stand by what I said.
compared to Nick, yeah.
I guess.
All right, let's go to comments real quick. We're gonna try to make this quick.
Yeah.
Godzilla said, "Calling it now. This chapter ends with Angel Senior killing Oliver, taking over the family, and Vera fleeing with Nakoma and Fingers." I don't think that's a possibility. I'm so sorry, Godzilla. In my opinion, I could be wrong 100%, but I don't think that's gonna happen. And Vincent being set up for kind of redemption arc against his father further down the road. No way Oliver's plan of taking his time and gathering evidence ends well. It's basically a red flag. It's true. That I agree. Let's go to the long comment here by Dangero2000. Thank you so much for commenting and listening to our podcast. He said that I enjoyed responding to We're Not Dead last time, so I'd like to do it again. I'm excited to hear what you all have to say for this one. And he put the timestamp. 155. I didn't know that there was an American term for that. I've heard the British term for it. I think it's called camp. I forgot what it was, but there was some lingo that we talked about in the beginning of the pod. He said that, is this the last chapter of the season or the last chapter of the first half? I think it's the last chapter of the first half. I don't think this is the last chapter of the season. I think we're taking a break and then we end the other half of it.
Oh, I think
that.
he might be talking about your introduction word.
Oh yeah, zesty.
Zesty.
Yeah, zesty. That's good. That's good. I love that.
That's all I can think of.
He's still thinking about it. Stop being zesty. I'd like to think that Senior said was because of his son's death. Parental instincts are quite strong, so I think he would have accepted Junior if he came back. I'm not sure though. We don't know what their dynamic was. I think so too. I think he would have accepted Angel Junior if he came back to the family. I can see that.
Especially after this episode.
Especially after this episode. 100%. I think him being heartbroken of the death of his son is genuine for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think kind of what we were saying last week, I still kind of stand by that. I think he was disappointed in his son potentially for leaving and stuff like that. But disappointed and disowning, I think is I guess that's the separation that we didn't make as much of last time.
Right.
Yeah, because I think I had even said like he potentially had disowned him and stuff like that.
Yeah, I
Was a
did listen
thought,
to that
but,
part. So y'all thought that he left. He was mad at him for leaving the family.
Yeah.
Which I think that still is probably true,
Right.
unless he was there on an assignment,
Yeah.
which I don't think that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that he would have taken him back in a heartbeat. He would have been like, "You need to prove yourself.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
back."
yeah. There will be punishment and consequences of leaving the family, but
Exactly.
he would have still accepted him. Two things.
You know who we are.
Right. You know who we are. All right, two things. The first one is story survival when Scratch saw Angel Jr. and said, "You're Angel Sr.'s son," and she mentioned that Angel Sr. is dead. She was right thinking that he might have this
was believed
timeline,
to be.
yeah, timeline lines up for sure because that's 2008 and Angel Senior
thought he was
disappeared.
gone.
Yep. And then second, the dynamic of relationship between Angel Senior and Vincent is kind of hilarious. You know what I mean? When Angel Senior said, "I'll smack the taste out of your mouth," it's like
Yeah.
it seems like they hate each other. And then when they're talking about Angel Junior, Vincent said, "You still got me, pops." And he said, "Thank you so much, man."
It's literally the golden child versus your silver. Like
Yeah.
that's literally how they are represented.
The non-favorite kid.
Dude, you have the golden child who is Angel,
Yeah.
and then you have your silver medal. It's like you're good enough to be here, but like I saw the gold.
Yo.
I saw the gold right there. The only reason you're not a bronze is because I only had 2.
Oh my gosh, that was so good. Oh, that's hurtful. That hurts. Oh my
Dang.
gosh.
No, dang.
16 minutes in, I'm glad you brought up the Dawson branch. I have the same feeling that they're not entirely dead, partly due to the fact that they were specifically brought up and the fact that they were, and partly because of Nick's line in every and very same episode, what's dead and gone doesn't always remain buried.
Yeah.
It was in completely different context, but I feel like that was hinting at something, Casey and his hints. Actually, Casey kind of confirmed this. He told us that I didn't confirm that Dawson is dead.
Yeah,
he
it was
said
a
they're still alive.
Yeah.
non-confirmational nudge. Like,
Yeah, he didn't say that they're
I didn't
alive.
say they're all dead.
Yeah, he said they're not all dead.
Yeah, they're not all dead, so you know what that means. 19 minutes. I'm with you on this. The dinner is not gonna go well. The secret passageway is about to be used for the first time in probably ever. Speaking of which, I've got a theory on that, but I'll get to that later. 21 minutes. My money is still on Vincent doing it. I still hold the Vincent grunting in Chapter 12 theory, and to date, nobody has come up with any ideas to counter that quite young sounding grunts that I hear. Plus, again, with Michael seeing Angel before he passed out, surely Senior would be too old for Michaels to draw that connection. Stop it! It's Senior! I'm seeing it. Getting so mad. It got triggered. You're wrong!
No, well, now I'm gonna play devil's advocate for just 1 second with this.
Yeah.
What if everything is pointing so heavily that it's Senior
Yeah.
that we find out that Vincent went to do it to try to make his dad proud?
Oh, that's good theory. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
They definitely have daddy issues.
Yeah,
man.
I like that a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
And then that would bring a whole different array of issues.
Yeah. Because the whole defense on an argument with
I still want
Vincent
Vincent
doing
to
it.
be innocent.
Yeah. when he doubled down on telling Vera we're never wrong, it's still raising a red flag on that, like putting a point on Vincent doing it. We're never wrong.
I agree.
Yeah.
But he could really mean that, and he is never wrong.
Yeah.
But his son, who made a irrational decision, was, or just something random like that.
No, I'm talking about like when Vincent said that he believes that is what really happened to Angel. So now I'm gonna do it, you know what I mean? Because I'm never wrong. 24 minutes. Don't underestimate the Angel of Death. It's a true enough statement, but I would also say don't underestimate the power of Casey's red herring strategy. I know I said that Casey doesn't usually do red herring stuff, but I don't know why I said that, because that's mostly wrong. He does do red herring, but usually in the form of characters saying, I think this happened because X, Y, and Z. It's true. Okay, 27 minutes. I would also affirm 0%. If Casey pulls a fastball like that, I'll shake up every can of soda in his fridge. 30 minutes. I feel like Michael could have died because of what happened to Angel, but I also feel like that's not so likely. The killer would have waited about 17-ish years to strike, when plenty of opportunity to strike before then. In fact, an opportunity immediately comes to mind after Ink was killed. Michael and Victor were exhausted and the colony was shook after Scratch broke into Dunbar. They were weaker and more prone to an attack. Why wait that long? I believe this is another red herring. Okay. 37 minutes. I love the connection. I gotta tell my dad he's a devout Christian, and I'm sure he'll get something out of that. The Angel of Death in Egypt. Yes, thank you. He said, I knew the Angel of Death sounded familiar, but I couldn't quite comprehend why. You're welcome. 39 minutes. I don't know. It seemed like that has some level of fondness towards Oliver, even if only slightly. 43 minutes. That's another red flag towards Vincent. He was cleaning himself off. Why did he have to clean himself off? Perhaps because he was covered in blood from a certain killing that he just performed. It could be a lot of things. It could be like a different mission.
Just a dirty guy.
Yeah, it's true. He is a dirty guy, though. I mean, for sure. 45 minutes. Okay, here's my wild passageway theory. Do any of you truly believe that Oliver would just abandon Bogart and Jody? I think they live down there.
That'd be wild.
And Oliver has been hiding them away. How coincidental could it be that Oliver just so happened to choose that room for Vera to stay in? I don't think it was. I think that he's at least a little bit aware that something bad could happen, and he staged this room specifically for her so that she'd have any easy escape. I believe that. It give him a chance to keep her safe, and it would give him a place to escape to, where he knows he has friends ready to receive him if things go south. The only gap in this theory is that the area is covered in dust, indicating that it hasn't been traversed.
Yep.
Yeah, in quite a long time. I can't explain that one so easily. I believe the putting Vera there for a reason to escape. I believe that theory. Now the Jody and Bogart, that's kind of like so and so. We haven't heard about him though. That's the problem. Yeah. An hour and 5. Will I be flailed alive here for saying I don't like steak? Whoa!
Yes.
Whoa!
Wow.
Whoa!
Yes.
We gotta stop this. We're done.
Yes.
Wow.
Comment, delete.
I'm just kidding.
Delete.
That's where it all stops.
Get it out of here.
That's where it stops.
Look at his comment. It's so funny because it's relatable to this episode. He said, I don't like squishy fat on it.
So, first off, with their comment, squishy fat and how tough it is to bite into, you're buying the wrong steaks and then you're cooking them wrong. Okay? If you want to know more, let us know.
Not well done. And he said, I'm a chicken guy. Fried chicken for me. All right, cool. An hour and 8. In this case, it's pronounced Friedrich. Friedrich. An hour 8. I knew exactly who this was after about 30 seconds of hearing his voice. I recognized him from the telephone call the boar had. Oh, I pieced it together from Nick saying he recognized him from TV. It would surprise me if he didn't know who Nick is as well. That's right. Not because I think he's been to Prim, because I know he hasn't been, but because I'm pretty sure he would know about the details of Solar Survival. It's a huge reason why Westport was able to develop. Although, maybe it's possible he knows who Nick is, but has never seen his face. That's a possibility, for sure.
That's a possibility, too.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
really is.
An hour 16, I think it's a pretty big possibility. The question is what's going to happen when they're spotted by Walrus. I'm thinking he'll either alert the Chancellor somehow, or he's just try to take them hostage. I think this might happen. If this will happen, it will be injustice, for sure. An hour 17, I think that Tanya's got her own thing going on in New Mexico that isn't tied for any major factions. Pretty sure Tanya is the director. You can hear the director say 2 words over the phone to, I think, Alvin in chapter 1. The voice sounds like an older Tanya to me. Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
Alvin talked to the director?
On the phone. Yep.
I do remember that they talked, but I don't remember anything about the voice.
Yeah.
Me too. An hour 18, I think Casey's silence on the whole Tanya thing is confirmation that she's alive, so I'd personally consider his complete radio silence on the matter as a clue. Yes! Yes!
That's what we've been leaning on.
Yes! Then you, Casey. Okay, an hour 19. I don't think she'd worship the infected. I think she just got a bunch of people to follow her and they worship Ink. And she's taking advantage of that to render their service. Probably figured her best chance to learn more about the infected was to get people who worship them to help her study them. Yeah.
That's valid.
Yeah. Oh, hey, a shout out. Yes. Awesome. Much love for this. I've been curious about your responses to my various points. By the way, as a pronunciation key, it's pronounced Danjiro.
Danjiro.
So, Danjiro?
His name?
So pronounced Dan the way you'd normally say it. Danjiro. Oh, the dangers. His name, Danjiro. Oh, okay, makes sense. Danjiro. All right, perfect. An hour 22. I hated Carmen at first. He still hates Carmen.
Still hate her.
To the grave.
I can't, dude.
But towards the end of her life, I think she was coming around. I mean, she tried to save Pierce, probably against her better judgment, and look where she ended up because of it. The voice actress was great, though, and I think she did a great job of portraying Carmen's complex character. By the way, I heard the theory that Buffalo Bill is actually Blaine.
That's what I.
Oh, in the dream. You're talking about the dream.
I honestly 100% agree with like everything that was said there. I think that the VA was so good. Like
yes,
she like every time that we've bashed and we've hated on her character, it's 100% because she did so well. Portrayed that character.
Yeah.
It is never the VA sucked and we couldn't get into the character. No, we got so into the character we hated her.
Exactly.
I've noted the narrative shift between story survival and Descendants, and it has me little concerned. I've been contemplating whether or not Descendants is going to have bad ending where every major civilization collapses because of infighting, and they usually evolve infected, and everyone important who could have stopped it dies along with everything. Dude, imagine that's the ending of We're Alive. Oh my gosh, we're alive, but the contrast is we're all dead.
that's bad. Oh my
we're
gosh.
not alive.
We're not alive. Yeah. Why else would every series before this one be journal based but not Descendants? Maybe because nobody will be able to alive to log the events. I haven't pointed this out mainly because I am hoping so badly for it not to happen. I hated bad endings. Fun fact, Jeremy's full alias in jail was Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy Oliver's original voice actor's name is Steven Weber. Coincidence? I think not. Perfect. Whew, that was good. Thank you so much for that comment.
I can probably pretty confidently say it's not going to be a bad ending.
Yeah, I think so too.
From everything Casey's done, Casey's left everything on a mostly good ending, minus Gold Rush. Like, because even Scout's Honor, it had a sad moment, but it was a good ending. Good ending. Sad moment, good ending. Story of Survival, sad moment, good ending. Even Lockdown, sad moment, good ending.
Yeah. Except for Scout's Honor. Casey, I'm so sorry. We love you, but we mentioned this before. Why toss the journal? Why?
That's the only thing I didn't like.
Yeah. Everything was written down in a letter form.
Yeah.
And then all of them just...
Gone.
But that was kind of the easiest way to also secure that it was its own story.
Yeah, for sure. And
even if there's a cameo in other
which
stuff,
we're still waiting for.
That it's cameo and it's not going to be a tie-in.
Yeah.
Or a major tie-in, at least.
Although I still like the possibility that if who's the main? Will?
No.
Not Will.
Zach?
No.
The protagonist in that one.
Ace, what's his name?
Ruby's boyfriend.
Started with a B, didn't it?
No, you're thinking about Blaine. Graham? No.
Dan? No. Well, anyway, it would have been nice that, Ruby giving the letter to his mom. That would have been a nice ending.
Yeah.
Zach Franklin.
Frankie.
Yeah, that's right. All right, go through the...
I was waiting, so I was just like, wait. There's no way all the times that specifically you, Buggy, just raged on him. There's no way that you're going to not get this.
That's right. Frank
Got some comments in there, and then we'll...
All right. So we got a lot on here on YouTube. Apparently, Casey said, funny thing, I changed the name of the title somewhat recently, about a month ago. The original title was bland, in my opinion, but refers to dialogue from next week's episode. Obviously, we asked what it was. It was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, that's what's his name said.
Yeah.
The Chancellor.
Yep. Which is always awesome when somebody, like, you're watching a movie or something like that, and somebody says the name of the movie and just regular dialogue. It's always like, that's the name of the movie.
He said it. He said the thing.
The meme of Leonardo DiCaprio doing this.
Yeah, that little meme.
And then Dark Elite stated, didn't SOS have an episode with that same title? I believe you are correct. I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Casey gave credit to a bunch of other people for the sound work.
Yes.
It just depends on the scene if it's pre-recorded SFX or if we need to make it custom. That episode was Tim Mulhern was the main editor.
Yeah, that's when we talked about the dinner with the Chancellor or lunch with the Chancellor, the voice, the sound effect that they're using.
Dark Elite. I think another surprising reveal is that Oliver made it clear he knew Scratch was dead, not missing or never found, but actually dead. This could imply that Bird is safe from a vendetta, especially considering his feeling about both Angel and Derai's murders. Oliver also let us know that the family's understanding context. Hopefully that protects Pegs from Latch's killing, but I'm not holding my breath.
I would honestly say that's probably the most likely vendetta situation, but I also don't think it would call for a vendetta because it was a rightful killing. It wasn't an unrightful death. It was legitimate self-defense situation, and I don't think the family would be like, oh well, our person was attacking you because they were attacking you and you killed them, so you're gonna die. I don't see that being a very like official way the family would take it.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right.
Also, just to go through one that you had said before, I literally am just double checking all of them. I don't think there was ever a beginning of the end situation. There was part one where it begins, and then life and death, which is kind of a similar-esque style, and then oh gosh dang it, I just saw another one. The end is near.
Gotcha.
I thought there was one, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Okay. Dark Elite again. Angel Sr. collected all those rings as trophies for lawful killings within the families. Did we read this already?
Yeah, I did. I read
all right,
that
skipping
earlier.
that. You only get one time read. Sorry, Dark Elite. But you made a lot of comments, so you're making up for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm letting go of my previous theory that Oliver is hiding the fact that Michael's death was a family-sanctioned killing. I think it might have been... I think I might have been thrown off because Oliver was hiding a bunch of things and he manipulated Nick's short temper. Also, when he went with Vera to send a message to Ruth using that sketchy method, it made me suspicious. But I forgot that he also managed to keep the fact that Vera was his child a secret from the families for 17 years. So I can see why he didn't have a more open means of communication with Westport.
Yeah.
Now, I do think he is still hiding some things, but I no longer think that it has anything nefarious.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah, this episode confirms that.
Casey responded to our question. He eats his steak medium. Nice. He's like, I inject my own beliefs in the show.
That's good.
Let's go.
That's good.
Yeah.
In regards to giving Buggy some ammo in his off the wall theories, he just said, "Not my fault." You're the writer and producer, so just saying. Although I will give you credit, you cannot control his brain.
Casey, we just added him in the group. I'm so sorry.
You just add me.
Is that it?
Nope. Sorry, had to blow. When he's talking about the part about you never know where that one's been, he's actually referring to Vera.
He's talking about Vera, which actually would make sense.
Yeah.
That's why she got like super offended.
Yeah. And then Dark Elite, yep, he's got that Dawson racism. Dawson like racism.
Yeah, for sure.
Casey again. Just a small note for me. This is something that's in Tanya's files that's on our Patreon page. That Lake Matthews is sort of like the filter city before Westport. So anybody traveling from other places that potentially could be dangerous or something like that has to go through there. That way they have a buffer between the outside world, at least the continental United States, in Westport.
Yeah.
So it kind of filters out infected people.
Yep.
So apparently that sound that you heard was water. It's Vera starting her shower.
I know. Yeah, that's cool. Taking a shower. Or started to take a shower.
Yeah. I don't know why, but Angel Sr., this is Dark Elite again, Angel Sr. being deaf because of hearing too many gunshots reminds me of what Angel Jr. shot right by Michael's ear in the OG tower.
That was so good. I love that.
So yeah. And then Dark Lead again. Last time they had vegetable soup in Story of Survival, it was spiked and Marcus got killed. Funny enough, the last time they had steak in Lockdown, Simon got killed. Both liars got exposed and killed. It doesn't look good for Will and Nick. Not a theory. Just thought it was a funny coincidence.
That's awesome.
I like that.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna die.
It's Will.
Also, we kind of mentioned this
Plot twist.
earlier.
It's Riley.
It's Riley.
It's Riley.
He said, I don't think Walrus is on the train since he left on a plane.
Yep.
But I do think they'll see him whenever the stop is. And since he whooped Nick's butt last time, I think a rematch may happen and Nick's going to shoot him. Hopefully with the new Mata gun.
Yep.
It'd also be fine with Will shooting Walrus with the new Mata gun.
Yep.
And then the last one, again from Dark Elite. If Angel Sr. Was set to be the next patriarch, then Angel Jr. Would have been the prince of the families, just like Vera is the current princess of the families. This could explain why Angel Jr.'s death wasn't a normal death among the families, but rather a widely known death among people like the Boar. However, knowing this about Angel, and with Durai being good friends with Angel Sr., I'm curious why they kept trying to attack his building. So, yeah.
Well, I don't think Durai himself knew exactly who it was.
Yeah, I don't think they knew it was Angel Jr.
Yeah, I don't think so at all. I don't think that until Durai was already dead, they had any idea who he was.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because the closest thing the closest that they ever had gotten was the "you look familiar" on first meet.
Yeah, it was.
You sure we never met, blonde boy? Like that is as close to knowing as they thought until they saw the ring when he was dying.
Yep. Yep.
The moment they saw the ring, it like triggered that last little like.
You also have
do know who you are.
Well, we also have the when he was returning the body. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Scratch is kind of hinting of I know what
think
you're
Scratch
doing.
figured who he was because I remember that encounter.
Yeah.
Because she kept egging on that story, and then she mentioned
like he recognized Scratch and Latch first before Scratch and Latch recognized him for sure.
And then Scratch later on figured it out. But did Durai figured who Angel was?
I have 0% believe he knew.
Yeah.
I don't think. I would almost be surprised. I don't remember a single time in the story where Durai even saw Angel.
No, what I mean, like, did he figure him out towards when Angel was dying?
No, when he's dead.
No, because he was gone. Yeah,
he
he's
saw
already dead.
He saw the video. Remember?
That's right.
What's his name? Lizzie's bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, he saw the video. Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep, that was the last comment, though.
That was good.
Thank you for your comments.
I cannot wait. Next week, for next week's pod, it's going to be live. We're going to do it live. We're doing it live!
We're live?
Yeah.
We're doing it live!
We're doing it live!
All right.
All
fun.
I'm going to bring popcorn. I was thinking about that earlier.
Just
I'm like,
for
I'm going to bring
everybody,
popcorn for all
just
of us.
for every single
Nice.
one of you who has never been part of a VTuber stream or anything like that, I want you guys to know VTubers are known for one thing and one thing only when it comes to streaming. There's going to be scuff. Good luck.
He's so lost.
What's that? What's that? I'm sorry, do I have to speak up for you youngins?
Tell him.
I can't breathe. Scuff means that nothing is going to go right. That's the base. That's the base form.
Yeah.
So anarchy.
Yes.
Okay, they have a
But it's
term for
not our
that
fault.
that was already in the English language.
No.
Just saying.
That's not how slang
Because
works.
Anarchy. Somebody is causing the anarchy. Scuff means that just nothing is going to to go right. Technology is going to fight against us. The stream's going to cut out.
That's why I'm here.
All right. Well, what a fun episode. Thank you again so
Yes,
much for your
thank you.
comments. Thank you for reacting. Thank you for watching and enjoying this episode.
Like and subscribe.
Yep, exactly. And if you're listening to the podcast form, go to YouTube. You're going to see our faces. You're going to see all of our reactions. Just look for Mike Smith and Mayhem, and we'll be there. Other than that, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you guys next week for the live reaction of the episode. Bye.
Bye, son.
Bye.